Why does this cost $570,000 and this costs $210,000? The difference is right over there. This is Niagara Falls, New York State, in the US of A. This is Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. They're only 20 minutes apart. Both are in Niagara Falls. Both are charming, respectable, and nice places to raise a family. Fred is selling this place so that he can move to Maryland and be with his granddaughter. Even he was surprised to hear how expensive real estate is only 20 minutes away on the Canadian side of the border. This is a little piece of heaven for a family to come and raise their kids or maybe even retire. And the price is a whole lot lower, which doesn't make any dollars and cents, given that the Americans have 8 times the people to house on a smaller landmass. They have more demand and less natural land-based supply. Why is it that they pay so much less for real estate than we do north of the border in Canada? It's not a one-off case. In fact, in border communities on both sides of the Canada-US border, from one ocean to the other, we see cases where houses are about 2 to 3 times more expensive in Canada than in the US. And if you look at the averages, depending on how you measure them and when you measure them, Canada's real estate is about 45 to 75% more expensive than the US. Why? Why is Vancouver the 3rd most expensive housing market of any city in the world? Why is Toronto number 10 when you compare median income to median house price? Why are both of those cities more expensive than New York, Los Angeles, Chicago? The answer is that while we have lots of land, we can't get things built in Canada because of bureaucratic gatekeeping that stands in the way. We have the fewest houses per capita of any country in the G7, fewer than the United States. We have fewer houses per capita than we did 8 years ago because our population has been growing faster than the number of homes. Now, this government gatekeeping that slows things down is the worst in Vancouver and Toronto. According to a C.D. Howe Institute study, the gap between the cost of building a home and the cost of buying one in Vancouver is about $1.2 million. That's right, it costs $1.2 million more to buy a home in Vancouver than it costs in land, labor, materials, and profit for the business. What is the gap? It's the gatekeeper gap. It's the gap between the cost and the price, and that gap is explained by the taxes and the bureaucracy. We have the 2nd slowest building permits of any country in the OECD. And that problem doesn't just exist for businesses, but also for development of homes. And all the costs are passed on to the home buyer. The developer doesn't pay any of it in the end. That's why you can't afford a house anywhere in Canada, no matter how hard you work. That's why 9 in 10 of our young people believe that they will never afford a home. That is why, after 8 years of Trudeau, housing costs have doubled. Rent has doubled, mortgage payments have doubled, and the needed down payment has doubled. Double trouble for anyone looking for a home. So what's the solution? Well, we need to pull whatever federal levers the federal government has. I understand that permitting and zoning is municipal. However, the federal government gives billions of dollars to cities for infrastructure, and city politicians care about getting that money more than anything else. So my message to them will be this: if you want federal dollars, you'll need to clear the way for more home building. 1, I will require cities permit 15% more home building per year. 2, I will require every federally funded transit station be pre-permitted for high-rise apartments so young people and seniors can live right next to the bus or train. These will be requirements if the cities want federal money. And those that build more and build faster will get a building bonus. We want both carrots and sticks to get the bureaucracy out of the way. And speaking of bureaucracy, our federal buildings are largely empty. That's why I'm going to sell off 6,000 of them and a bunch of acres of federal land so that we can build thousands of homes on that as well. If we want affordable homes, we have to build more of them. It's simple supply and demand dynamics. What we need is a prime minister that pays for results from our municipalities, not promises. Because if you pay for promises, you get promises. If you pay for results, you get results. And results are what we are going to get for the Canadian people. You know, the good news is this. Before Trudeau, housing was affordable. And after Trudeau, it will be affordable again. We just need a prime minister who gets the gatekeepers out of the way, clears the way for construction, and builds the millions of new homes that are necessary to put roof over the heads of the hardworking people of this country. It's common sense. Now let's bring it home.